Yeah, so I'll have my time to thank everyone. So maybe I go straight to the question that has been the comment that Professor Makani has put forward. And yeah, so Professor Tishkov has been working in Africa and particularly in Tanzania for a long time. And her particular interest has been to study genetic diversity, especially for the populations that are minorities. So even in Tanzania, she has looked at populations that have not been very well represented or studied in terms of human genetics, and also to compare the genetic makeup or the genetic diversity of those compared to other populations. So, and that is an area that we as Tanzania Society of Human Genetics have been very interested to look at, to map or to study the genetic diversity that is prevalent within our country, and of course to try as much as possible to link that to the distribution of different genetic disorders, as well as other communicable and non-communicable diseases that are influenced by genetic factors. So quite recently, we have been in contact with Professor Tishko, and we hope that we can work together. Of course, she has been working with Dr. Nyambo in the biochemistry department before, and we hope that we can continue that collaboration to take her expertise, to utilize her expertise in studying genetic diversity, as well as to expand that within Tanzania and link that to how we can actually contribute to improving health. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siana, for that wonderful comment. I would like to now invite Professor Julie Makani to sort of give the young investigators in this group, as well as the established scientists, what the advanced therapy for sickle cell is all about. Karibu sana, Professor.
Thank you very much. Very fortunate to participate and to listen to the talks. Thank you very much for this. Very specifically with regards to advanced therapy, what we want to do in Tanzania is to combine what Siana has just spoken about, which is really understanding genomic diversity and how this influences health and disease, and link that to one, how it influences how people respond to medicines, how people express the different diseases that they may occur. And then this is on one aspect. And then the other aspect is what Professor Lucho has talked about. And this is really trying to understand the mechanisms of disease and understand where the appropriate interventions are when it comes to genetic modification and curing a disease like sickle cell disease. Now, what we, all three of us, Professor Lucho, myself, and Dr. Siana, as well as all the people that we've been very fortunate to work with, what we're very interested in is making sure that we integrate basic science with clinical application and making sure that what we understand in terms of genomics translates to improving health. And one aspect of that involves making sure that we provide evidence-based interventions and we implement that. And that is why we all work very actively in public health as well as in clinical medicine, whilst at the same time working with scientists to try and understand and try to apply develop the infrastructure in Tanzania so that we can be one of the first countries that can participate in gene therapy trials and participate in translation of genomic research into the clinical application to improve health. And so the advanced therapy project or program involves projects that are really targeting or really working to establish understanding of stem cells in hematopoietic stem cells in Tanzania, in cord blood, and in sickle cell patients, as well as in the population, looking at blood donors. It will also involve setting up the infrastructure. So this is making sure that things like blood transfusion, the laboratory infrastructure is in place in order for us to be able to conduct gene therapy as well as transplantation in sickle cell disease. Thank you. I'll stop there. And thank you very much for letting me speak, and congratulations to the Tanzania Society of Human Genetics and the speakers for really this fantastic talk. Asanteni.
Thank you so much, Professor Makani, for those enlightening words. And I'm sure a lot of our new members today have now sort of understood from Professor Lucho's talk on a lot of issues with regards to the history of genetics. From Dr. Cynthia's talk, we learned about the ethical side of the importance of genetics and ethical legal aspects. From Arafa's story, really what it means to be a warrior. From Dr. Kilaza's talk, what the role of environment and microbiome is all about. And from your and Siana's talks about what advanced therapy and human genetics is all about. So really, thank you all the speakers, and thank you for this lovely presentations. I now want to invite Dr. Siana to come and conclude our session with the closing remarks. Dr. Siana, Karim.
Asante sana, Mohammed. So thank you so much for this memorable event. I mean, myself, personally, I've learned a lot from yesterday when we had the youth forum and today. And from each talk, as Mohammed has just quickly summarized, we have learned a lot. And what I can say quickly is that we see many aspects, and we see the importance of involving different partners from different angles if we really want to succeed in any research or in any initiative, especially in this one, in human genetics and its application. I think we all have the same goal, and the ultimate goal is really to see that we have used human genetics knowledge and research and related activities to see that we have improved health. I'm so happy that we have had examples, different examples from Dr. Kilaza talking about microbiome. I didn't know that we can actually, speak in combination that's actually human, more or less somewhere we have a lot of overlap with the microbiome. And we have had questions from participants asking about how microbiome can actually be, explored in terms of human health, in mental health, as well as in dental health, and so many other areas. We have also heard from Cynthia a very informative talk on what we need and what it means to actually involve the public or the community when it comes to human genetics research, the sensitive areas, the areas that need improvement, the areas that we still need to study, and so forth. And so we see the importance of understanding all aspects and also taking into context the different populations and cultures that we have in Africa and in the specific countries. We have also heard from Arafa, and Arafa stands as a warrior that represents many other warriors from different genetic disorders. And I hope that we can also utilize her expertise, her pioneering spirit to also influence other warriors with other rare diseases, genetic diseases, and so forth. And again, it shows the importance of hearing from them, from the communities, from the patients' communities, of the experiences that they go through, because it gives you perspective of, it gives you more importance, or it gives you the sense of importance of doing what you have to do in terms of seeing that you can actually have an impact. And again, we heard from Professor Lucho. I always learn from him in person or when I listen to his talk. And being a geneticist myself, I've really enjoyed his talk. And I think he has left us with a very important comment that he hopes that we youth can actually, or young investigators can actually address the many remaining aspects that are not answered. And I will add to that, to our context, to our populations, to our community. I would like to also thank Professor Makani. She is my mentor. She has been my mentor for a long time. I always learn from her in so many ways. So it's good to have her and to hear of her perspective and to hear of her energy to see that she can move forward the agenda of human genomics in Tanzania, particularly in sickle cell disease. But I also know that if we succeed in developing advanced therapies such as gene therapies in sickle cell disease, then we have the key also for other monogenic conditions. I don't know if Professor Lucho would agree with the term monogenic, but it's okay. And other conditions. So sickle cell is an exemplar or a model disease that we can use to many other genetic disorders. So I would really like to thank our speakers. They have been instrumental. We have enjoyed these talks, but I also want to thank so much the participants. I was all time trying to see how many participants we still have in the audience. And I think we have had, the same number throughout, which reflects on the passion, reflects on the interest that people have in, learning about human genetics. And this is really an encouragement to us, the Tanzania Study of Human Genetics, and also gives us the strength to organize such events and also to do more work in this area. So thank you so much, the participants. I hope that you will not just be, the listeners of the talks and so forth, but you will do something about it. Feel free to communicate with us with the emails that have been provided beforehand. And lastly, but not the least, I would like again to thank the organizers. Annette is not here, but she has worked very hard on this, and it has been a successful event. So with these words, I would like to just remind you of the questions that I presented when we were starting. And I hope that from these talks, at least we can try to answer some of these, if not all. So we hope that Africa can really lead in the contribution of human genetics in improving health. We have heard from Professor Lucho about the genetic diversity. We see that sickle cell disease burden is very high in Africa, including Tanzania. And so these will be the areas that we hope can be in the front line in bringing these changes in terms of application of human genetics in health. And who is going to make the decision? I think we can all see that we have different partners that should do something. So if even each one of us has something to do, including, different levels of advocacy, the patient community, the government, and so forth. And lastly, but not the least, what will be your contribution? What will be my contribution? How are you going to say that you contributed to this story, to this journey? So with those words, I would like to say that this event, this symposium is officially closed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siana, for the closing comments. I want to thank also all the participants, and we are now officially done with the symposium. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a nice day.